High in the branches of a cherry blossom tree lived a very special bird. This bird was not like the others. Its feathers were the color of the setting sun, a bright, beautiful red. This was the red bird, and it had a secret. The red bird could sing the most magical songs. The red bird's songs were not just pretty tunes, they were filled with magic. When the red bird sang, flowers bloomed, sad hearts felt lighter, and even the wind seemed to dance along.
One day, I heard a whisper on the wind. It sounded like a call for help coming from a place far away. Curious, I decided to follow the sound. I spread my wings and flew towards the unknown. I had a feeling this was the start of a grand adventure.
The red bird flew for hours, following the whispering wind. Finally, it reached a forest unlike any other. The trees here were tall and ancient, their leaves shimmering with an emerald glow. This was the Whispering Woods, a place where magic whispered through the leaves. As the red bird flew deeper into the woods, the whispers grew louder. They spoke of lost fireflies, a grumbling goblin, and a darkness that had fallen over the forest.
With my kind heart, I knew I had to help. It was time to use my magical song to bring back the light. I landed on a moss-covered branch and closed my eyes. Taking a deep breath, I began to sing. The song flowed through the trees, carrying a message of hope and a promise to help.
The Whispering Woods, though shrouded in an unusual darkness, seemed to hold its breath, listening to the magical melody. The red bird's song echoed through the Whispering Woods, reaching the ears of a group of tiny creatures. They were the fireflies, small and glowing, but their lights were faint, flickering weakly. They had lost their way, and with it, their light.
Did you hear that? A song, so full of hope. Maybe it can help us find our way home.
The red bird's song had given them a glimmer of hope. Gathering their fading strength, the fireflies followed the sound of the song. They flew slowly, their lights barely illuminating the path ahead. They knew they needed to find the source of the magical melody if they wanted to find their way back home. Deep in the heart of the Whispering Woods lived a grumpy goblin. He wasn't always grumpy, but lately a frown had taken permanent residence on his face. The reason for his grumbling? The goblin had lost his favorite walking stick, and without it, he felt lost and out of sorts.
Where could it be? That walking stick was special. It had a star on top that glowed in the dark.
The goblin missed his nightly walks through the woods, guided by the light of his special stick. He longed for the familiar weight of the stick in his hand, the gentle thump it made against the ground.
Without it, my walks are just grumbles.
He sighed, slumping onto a moss-covered rock. Following the trail of the magical song, the red bird soon came across the grumbling goblin. He was sitting slumped on a rock, his face buried in his hands. The red bird, sensing his sadness, gently landed on a branch above him.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice you seemed troubled.
The goblin lifted his head, startled by the sudden appearance of the red bird.
Who are you?
I am the red bird. I heard the whispers of the forest calling for help, and I came to see if I could be of assistance.
The goblin looked at the red bird, surprised. No one had ever offered to help him before. He usually scared everyone away with his grumbling. Maybe, just maybe, this little bird could indeed be of some help.
The red bird listened patiently as the goblin, with a few grumbles in between, explained his predicament.
He had lost his favorite walking stick, the one with the star that glowed in the dark.
Without it, he couldn't enjoy his nightly walks, and that made him even grumpier than usual.
It's not just any walking stick, the goblin mumbled, wiping a tear from his eye. It was a gift from my grandfather. He told me it was enchanted by the forest itself.
The red bird, touched by the goblin's story, knew it had to help. Don't worry, goblin, the red bird chirped, its voice full of warmth. I'm sure we'll find your walking stick. But first, tell me more about this enchantment.
The goblin looked up, a glimmer of hope flickering in his eyes. The goblin explained that the walking stick was not just a walking stick, it was a magical artifact, imbued with ancient powers that had been passed down through generations of forest guardians. It was the key to keeping the Whispering Woods safe. Without it, the delicate balance of light and dark in the forest would be disrupted, leading to chaos and despair. The star on top, he revealed, wasn't just a decoration. It held a tiny piece of the moon's light, which kept the darkness at bay. This light was essential for the forest's well-being, as it guided the creatures of the night and protected them from harm. When I lost my walking stick, the goblin confessed, his voice trembling, the light went out. The forest began to change, and the once vibrant and lively woods turned into a place of shadows and fear. That's when the fireflies got lost and the forest grew darker. The fireflies, which had always been a symbol of hope and joy, now wandered aimlessly, unable to find their way back home.
The red bird now understood the gravity of the situation. It realized that the fate of the entire forest rested on their shoulders, and they had to act quickly to prevent further disaster. The lost walking stick was not just the goblin's problem, it was affecting the entire forest. The trees, the animals, and even the stream seemed to mourn the loss of the magical light. "We need to find it, and quickly," the redbird chirped, its voice firm with determination. There was no time to waste, and every moment counted in their quest to restore the forest's light. The forest needs the light of that star to return. Without it, the Whispering Woods would remain a place of darkness and sorrow, and the creatures that called it home would be lost forever.
And so, the redbird, with the grumbling goblin by its side, embarked on a daring rescue mission to find the lost walking stick and restore light to the Whispering Woods. Their journey would be fraught with challenges, but their resolve was unwavering. Together, they would face the unknown and bring hope back to their beloved forest.
The red bird, using its keen eyesight, spotted something shimmering under a pile of leaves. It had been searching for days, tirelessly flying over the forest, hoping to find a clue. The bird's heart raced as it fluttered closer, its curiosity piqued by the mysterious glint. It was the lost walking stick, the very one that had been missing for so long, causing distress to the forest's inhabitants. The stick was not just any ordinary stick, it held a special significance and power.
The redbird swooped down and, with a gentle nudge of its beak, pushed the leaves away, revealing the lost treasure. The bird's actions were careful and deliberate, as if it knew the importance of what lay beneath. The forest seemed to hold its breath, waiting in anticipation.
The goblin, overjoyed, snatched up his walking stick. His eyes sparkled with happiness and a wide grin spread across his face. This stick was more than just a tool. It was a symbol of his connection to the forest and its magic. As soon as his hand grasped the familiar wood, the star on top began to glow. The light was warm and inviting, casting a gentle glow that seemed to breathe life back into the forest. The goblin felt a surge of energy and hope.
It pulsed with a gentle, moonlit light, chasing away the shadows that had fallen over the forest. The darkness that had once seemed so oppressive began to recede, replaced by a serene and calming light. The forest felt alive again, as if waking from a long slumber.
The red bird, watching from a nearby branch, let out a joyous chirp. Its song was a melody of celebration, echoing through the trees and filling the air with a sense of joy and relief. The bird knew that its efforts had made a difference.
The light from the walking stick acted like a beacon, guiding the lost fireflies back to their homes. The tiny creatures drawn to the glow began to gather around the goblin, their own lights flickering in response. It was a beautiful sight, a dance of light and life. As they flew through the trees, their own lights, re-energized by the star's glow, began to shine brightly once more. The forest was now alive with the twinkling lights of the fireflies, each one adding to the magical atmosphere. It was as if the forest itself was celebrating. The Whispering Woods, bathed in the combined light of the star and the fireflies, twinkled with newfound magic. The air was filled with a sense of wonder and enchantment, as if the forest had been reborn. The light had returned, and with it a promise of new beginnings. With the walking stick back in the goblin's possession and the fireflies safely home, peace and light returned to the Whispering Woods. The once dark and eerie forest was now a place of tranquility and beauty. The trees seemed to stand taller, their leaves rustling with a gentle melody, and the air was filled with the soft hum of contentment.
The goblin, no longer grumpy, was filled with gratitude for the redbird's help. His heart, once heavy with worry and frustration, now felt light and free. He could hardly believe the transformation that had taken place both within him and in the forest around him. "Thank you, Redbird," he boomed, a wide smile replacing his usual frown. "You saved us all." His voice echoed through the trees, carrying with it a sense of newfound hope and joy. The red bird's bravery had not only saved the forest, but it also rekindled the goblin's faith in kindness and friendship.
The red bird blushed, its heart filled with warmth. It had never imagined that its small actions could have such a profound impact. The bird felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that it had made a real difference. It realized that even the smallest creature could make a big difference. The red bird's journey had taught it that courage and kindness were more powerful than size or strength. It felt a renewed sense of purpose, ready to continue spreading light and joy wherever it went.
As a reward for its kindness and bravery, the fireflies gathered around the red bird, bathing it in their magical light. The forest was illuminated with a soft, enchanting glow, and the red bird felt a surge of energy and happiness. When the light faded, the red bird noticed something different. It looked around, its eyes wide with wonder, trying to understand the change that had taken place. Its red feathers now shimmered with a soft, inner light, a gift from the grateful fireflies. This new glow was a symbol of the bird's bravery and the love it had received from the creatures it had helped. From that day forward, the red bird continued to travel the world, its song and its light bringing joy and hope wherever it went. It flew over mountains and valleys, through forests and fields, always spreading its message of love and courage. The red bird had found its purpose, and it was a beautiful one indeed. It knew that its journey was far from over, and it looked forward to the many adventures and friendships that lay ahead. The forest, the goblin, and the fireflies would always hold a special place in its heart, a reminder of the power of kindness and the magic of the whispering woods.